Welcome back to the Car Doctor Studios. Thanks for tuning in. I'm the Car Doctor, and it's a glorious Thursday morning. It's a beautiful fall morning here in Anchorage, Alaska. Took a little footage of the drive into work, and there's still a little bit of daylight around 7:45 a.m. But we're losing a lot of daylight, and pretty soon I may be driving to work in pitch black, watching the northern lights overhead, and actually enjoy winter. It's a cool season up here. There's lots of fun things to do if you enjoy winter activities. Hoping we get a little bit of snow. Anyway, this morning we actually have a Ford Expedition that had a misfire problem, and plugged in the scanner yesterday. Found a misfire on cylinder 7, did some more testing. It's over 80,000 mile vehicle. It's due for a tune-up. Unfortunately, this is the 3-valve engine, 5 Ford Triton 3-valve with the little 2-piece spark plugs that are notorious for breaking off inside the engine. So any type of ignition system service could end up being a little more than you bargained for. And we've all seen the videos and different people's techniques for removal of these plugs. There is a TSB produced by the manufacturer regarding safe removal of the spark plugs by following a step-by-step procedure. I've developed my own, and I thought I would make a quick video about the way I do it. And actually, I have never broke a spark plug off in one of these motors. I don't make that claim lightly. This could be the day when plugs start busting off on me, and never say never, you know. So I don't take these lightly. I always inform the customer that there's a possibility that plugs can break off and require additional labor for removal. And anyway, I just wanted to outline my procedure for doing this. I think it's a time-proven method. I don't do a ton of these, but I've done a few and I've had great success. And basically it's my adaptation of the manufacturer outline procedure in the TSB produced by Ford. And on top of that, basically, I perform a fuel system cleaning, which I think helps remove the carbon from the end of the plugs and prevent that type of failure. So basically, and I'll put a link to my video where I use my OTC canister type fuel injection cleaning system and run it through the vehicle, removing this coil, and then after cleaning out the spark plug wells with compressed air, we fill up the spark plug well with PB Blaster, and then rotate each spark plug less than a quarter of a turn, and leave it sit overnight. They recommend at least 15 minutes, and they also recommend that you don't try working the plugs out until the vehicle is fully cooled off. So I like to bring these in, give the customer a heads up, it's going to be a 2-day deal. Bring it in the afternoon, perform my cleaning, remove the coils, clean out those spark plug tubes, and then put your PB in there and just crack each spark plug a little bit and let it set overnight. It'll cool off. That'll give it a chance for the penetrant to go down there and free up any carbon deposits around the tip of that 2-piece spark plug that are left after you've done the cleaning process. I have found that in Alaska, the fuel blends we have here are they just don't build up as much carbon in the cylinders, and I think that may have something to do with my success rate on removing these, and not too many of them stuck in there and breaking off. So that may play a part, but again, I think the fuel system cleaning is effective. I I've seen it work. I've watched fuel trims increase. I've seen carbon deposits go away. So I will put a link to my video on fuel system cleaning. So I've done those services and backed out the spark plugs just about a quarter of a turn, no more than a quarter of a turn each. Let it set overnight with the PB blaster in the cylinders. And now I'm going to try to start pulling these spark plugs out, and let's see if we get them all out safely. That would be the plan, and that would be best. All right, we got that one. Came out in one piece. Very nice. If you get a spark plug that feels a little bit tight on removal, then you want to work it back and forth without applying an excessive amount of torque. There's a point where the torque will break the end of the plug if it's beginning to seize in the around the end of the electrode. So if you just gently work it, you're working that penetrant down around the electrode and loosening the area where the carbon is built up. For this job, I like to use the Snap-on 9/16 plug socket, a short locking extension because the spark plug is recessed down in the head, and 3/8 wobbly adapter, and my flex head handle ratchet, and I've got a 1/4 inch drive with an extension and a flex head on my small socket to remove the coil packs. I talked about the cleaner. This is the cleaner that I use. It's an OTC cleaner. It goes in the canister type cleaner system. I use the PB blaster penetrant to fill the spark plug tubes. And on the replacement spark plugs, I put a small amount of copper high temperature anti-seize on the tips of the plugs around the electrode area. This is where the carbon builds up and they tend to seize on extraction and break the tip off. And then I have a replacement coil for that cylinder where the misfire is occurring that I'm going to replace as well. And then I've replaced all the other coil boots, the coil over boots on each of the other coils as well. So you can replace all 8 coils if you want. It's just the expense of those parts involved. I also have a nice step stool work platform that's really handy for accessing these spark plugs, which are way back in the back of the motor. All right, praise the Lord. Every single one of them came out. As a matter of fact, this the number 8 plug was about the worst, and it was really tight. And I was really concerned that it was going to break, but it didn't. So now I'm just going to crank the engine over and kind of blow the crap out of the cylinders, and probably a little bit of brake clean, and just clean the penetrant out of there so that that's not there deteriorating the new replacement coil boots. They do make some one-piece aftermarket spark plugs. I think they're Champion. But I've had problems with those. I've had comebacks with misfire problems with defective plugs, and I don't recommend those. I just go with the Motorcraft spark plug, and that's okay if you use aftermarket coil boots and aftermarket coils. You know, worst case scenario, if one goes bad, it's not as labor intensive as removing the plug. You can just go to that coil and replace it, and you'll be good to go. You can replace all 8 coils if you want, but while you're in there, but you know, that gets expensive. I like being conservative. Unless you're driving to Alaska and you don't want to break down somewhere outside of Muskrat Dam in northern Ontario, which if you do break down there, I think I know someone who can help you out. Top-notch guy up there, pretty sharp. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing back together and get it on the road. And I thank you for stopping by the Car Doctor Studios today and being part of my day. And I wish you good luck with your repairs. Have a good one. Take care.